Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning into Tech Talk Tuesday. My name is Brian Mursky, and I am the owner of Veranda Technologies. We're here in Brick Township, and we service Monmouth, Ocean, and the surrounding counties in New Jersey. So this week we're going to talk about password security. We haven't talked about it in several months, and I thought it was time for a refresher. The rules for password security haven't changed. They're pretty much the same, but what happens is we get busy, complacent, lazy, and forget that it's important. So I wanted to go over it again, go over the rules for password security, talk about what makes a good password. I personally have 200 or 300 things that I log into. Now I use a password vault or a password app on both my desktop computer and my phone. They sync. I'll put a link in the post to this video to a video that we've done just on password apps. I'm not going to go down that road today. I just want to talk about why we have complex passwords and things like that. So I'll start there. We have complex passwords because people have written programs to crack passwords. It's really that simple. And they're fast, and the computing power that we have available to us today can hit these passwords pretty quickly. So if you have a password that doesn't have symbols or numbers in them, capital letters, that's why we use the complexity requirements. That's why websites now are making your life a little bit more difficult, making you have a trickier password. I realize the problem that comes into play there is not all websites play by the same rules, not all systems play by the same rules, so you're going to have variations of that password. And I don't necessarily say replace all of your passwords every quarter. I think most should be, particularly if they have credit cards tied to them, credit card information, personal information. So an Amazon account, your retail accounts, your banks, credit cards themselves. Those should be changed frequently. Equifax is in the news a lot recently because they were hacked. And there's nothing that you or I or anybody could have done to prevent that by changing our passwords. However, now that that information's out in yet another source in a widespread fashion, people have our information, right? People that shouldn't. So if they have information that could get you into some of your accounts, and they have some variation of your password. So the point is you need to rotate these from time to time. We've heard that forever. Rotate your passwords. It really should be done. I know it's tricky. Use a password app to keep track. Use variations of the same password. Normally sites will give you 4 or 5 tries to get in, but it's important that you rotate them. When you change it, though, don't just add a number to the end. If you go from like Florida 1 to Florida 2, that's kind of silly, because if anybody had your last password, they're going to pretty much be able to figure out what the next one is. So don't do that. And you definitely don't want to use the same password for all systems. Mainly because if I got your password for Target.com, let's say I had your Target password, and it's the same password for Amazon. Now I can get into that, right? If I have a password for your computer, which maybe isn't as critical to you, but I use that same password, that same pet's name, that same whatever, once I have it, maybe I try that and I get into Amazon. Now I've got your credit card. I've got your home address. I can change your home address. I can order anything I want on your credit card to my home address. So you want to use different passwords for different sites. There is something called Twofactor authentication, 2FA. You'll see abbreviated. Many sites offer it now. Amazon offers it. Google offers it. It's becoming much more popular. And what two-factor authentication means, if you have a website, by the way, or a system that offers it, if you log in and they make that offer, or you see the offer somewhere within the site, do it. It effectively ties your email address or your cell phone number to that site. When you try to log in from a machine that you've never logged in from before. So if I have a password for Amazon, it works from home, I open the browser and I shop. Now I go over to the Brick Chamber of Commerce and I'm sitting in their office and I want to order something from Amazon. I open the browser. Amazon recognizes that I am not at my normal terminal. Two-factor authentication kicks in and sends me a text or an email, whatever I've chosen, with a code. I now have to also enter that code at that computer. What's nice though is it's instantaneous. So I'm sitting at that computer at the Chamber of Commerce, I pull up Amazon.com, I type in my username and my password, and it says, yeah, we just want to make sure we're sending you a text. I get the text, I type in the number, I'm in. It adds 20 or 30 seconds to the login process, but somebody not only needs my username and my password, they need my cell phone. They're not going to have my cell phone, because if I lose my cell phone, I'm going to know it, and I can go turn off anything that's critical. So two-factor, very, very important. If it's available, use it. Google also makes, and other companies too, I use Google's Authenticator, an app that has a 6-digit code that changes every 60 seconds. And I use that for authentication on sites that approve it. So I don't even need to wait for a text. I just need to open my phone, click on that app, choose the site that I'm logging into, and there's a 6-digit code, and I could use that code to get in. So that's pretty handy. Obviously, don't write your passwords down in plain sight. If you're working in an office, if you're home, that's different. If you're in an office environment, though, you don't want your passwords on a post-it on your monitor. Somebody can see it, right? I mean, you put it under your keyboard. Maybe your coworkers know your password to log into your computer, but nobody needs to know the passwords for your, again, your Amazon, your Amex bill, your MasterCards and Visas, your banks. It's just not necessary. So, keep passwords on the top of your head, please. It's important. Again, I say every quarter for financial or credit card type sites, maybe once a year for the others. I don't subscribe to the you have to change them all the time for everything, because that's going to make us more reluctant to find good passwords. I'd rather you have good or great passwords. And again, it's frustrating. I know we all have. My daughter, she's 12. She has 9 websites to log into for school, 8 or 9 websites. I've got 200-300. We have products in the house. I think I mentioned our thermostat, home automation systems. Everything has a password these days. They're important, though. Your devices need to be secured. You need a complex password, something with a capital letter. That's as easy as making the F in Florida capital. Capital F, Florida, and then a birth year, 1971 star. Put an asterisk at the end or something. And you can use that same, maybe you use asterisk as your symbol for everything, but your word is different. So mix it up, keep it in mind. It's important. It's really, really important that we keep our passwords fresh and complex. If you want any suggestions, need any tips, give me a call, drop us an email. More than happy to help. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week on Tech Talk Tuesday.